Welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we are going to be wrapping up our series all about tax write-offs and going over the last three categories that fall under this series. So let's dive on in. I'm Heather, a wedding and senior photographer based in Pennsylvania, and on this channel, I help other photographers manage and understand their taxes as a small business owner, streamline their systems so that they can spend more time with family and friends, and I also love to give a little sneak peek into my life here and there. Now, as I mentioned, today is super exciting because we are going to be wrapping up our series all about tax write-offs and going over those final three categories. So, if you have not watched any of the other videos in this series, I highly recommend you heading to the channel and checking them out. I dive into each category separately, things that you can put under there, things you can't, stipulations that you need to follow to make sure your expenses can fall under that category and used as a deduction. So make sure you head to the channel and re-watch those. Also, just as a reminder, down in the description, if you have not grabbed it yet, go ahead and grab my freebie on the 15 most common categories for your tax write-offs. It really coincides with this series that we've been going over. It's a great place for you to follow along, also add your own notes, and then you can also reference it throughout the year as you start categorizing your own expenses for your tax season. So make sure you grab that. And then lastly, if you've been finding these videos helpful, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I will be releasing new videos each week, and so I want to make sure that you are the first to know when they go live. So go ahead and hit that button. But today we are going to be wrapping it up with three of the last categories that I most commonly use and see as a photographer when it comes to filing your taxes. The first one is office supplies. Now, in a previous video, we talked about office equipment, and these two are very close to each other because it references the assets in your business. Now, office expenses or office equipment that we chatted about previously are going to be those bigger ticket items and the ones that are going to last for several years. On the flip side, office supplies are going to be those short-term assets, and they're going to be any type of expenses and equipment that you use that will be used up in a year. So it's only a one-time use or you need to replace it each year. Any of those types of expenses are going to fall under this category for office supplies. Some examples of them are going to be paper supplies, printer supplies, or even writing supplies that you use in your business. So anything like paper, notebooks, pens, pencils, anything you use in your office is a really good category of expenses that fall under this. But then also when it comes to photographers, things like your SD cards or your batteries, those things that you should be replacing yearly to make sure you have the most up-to-date equipment or equipment that's not going to fail you. Those things are going to fall under this category because they're lower ticket items and they're also needing to be replaced within a year of purchase. So anything like that is going to fall under this category. All right, now we are going to switch over to the next category that we're going to be talking about today, and that is software. This one is pretty simple. Any type of software that directly is related to your business can fall under this category. It's perfect and most simple if you only use this software for your business, because then that receipt can easily go into your tax write-offs and be saved, and you can be 100% deducted on those expenses. But if it's a software that you use partly for business and partly for personal, then you're going to need to figure out your percentage of how much you use it for your business compared to overall, so that you can then use that percentage to figure out how much can be deducted for your business and in your tax filing. So that's the discrepancy. One of the softwares, for example, is Lightroom. If you use that for just your business and you don't do any personal editing on it, then that can be fully deducted for your business. But if you would do some sort of editing off to the side for your own personal use, then you're just going to want to roughly figure out what the percentage is of business versus personal use to then figure out how much can be deducted in your taxes. So that's just one example. You could use several examples. Overall, just remember that rule of if it is necessary and ordinary to your business. 2 questions that can help you figure out if a software or any of these expenses can be considered a tax write-off is asking, is it necessary in my business? If I did not use this, would it hurt my business or slow my business down because I'm not using it? Or is it an ordinary expense for people like me, other photographers? Do a lot of other photographers in the industry also use this software or piece of equipment or whatever it might be in their businesses? If yes, then there's a good chance that it is considered necessary and ordinary with the IRS and you are good to use it as a deduction. Now, the final one in our series and in this episode is props. And in this category, it is also a very simple one to understand. Any expense that's used for a clothing or an item that can be used as a prop and is going to be used as a prop in a photo shoot can be deducted for your business. Now, again, if it is something that you purchase personally and then you're just going to use it one time in a photo shoot, but the majority of the time it is for personal use, for instance, like a basket, then that does not count as a deduction. But if it is something that is primarily for your photo shoots, such as balloons, and then they're going to be popped afterwards and not used personally, then that can be used as a deduction for your business taxes. So just make sure it is something that you are purchasing directly related to a photo shoot that you're going to be doing for your business. And then if that is the case, you can then use that as a deduction in filing your taxes. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming and joining me as we dived into tax write-offs and this series that we've been going through over the last couple of weeks. I hope you have found this helpful. If you have any further questions about any specific expenses and you're not sure which category it should fall under, or you just need clarity on any of the categories, feel free to drop a question below or reach out to me. I would be happy to answer them to you. And also, if you just have a general question about taxes as a small business owner, you can also leave them in the comments below and you may just see them in an upcoming video. Thank you guys so much, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Bye.